Feathers down. See how we've kind of got this propeller thing going on. I really tried to lay in the fletching here, the feathers here, at about 30 degrees from one another. And we'll have to make some adjustments, but it should work out pretty okay. Okay. For this demonstration, you'll get the idea. With practice, you can get really precise. Alright, so I usually start with my cock feather, so I just go ahead and take this feather and I just lay it down along the shaft. Now, when you have a lot of the core, or a lot of the shaft of the feather here, it's kind of hard to wrestle it into place because it wants to be stiff. Alright, so this is when you might use some glue, some hide glue or something like that, and kind of get it tacky so it kind of sticks. But for the most part, you just lay it down. We'll be able to make adjustments with this technique later. But when you do lay it down, make sure that it's laying down perpendicular to the shaft. And we might have to make some adjustments here. There. So make sure that it's perpendicular to the shaft there. So one thing I'm going to mention is that if you're using wing feathers for fletching, make sure that all three feathers are from the same side, so they all curve the same direction. Okay, so we're going to lay this down, and then I'm going to use my artificial sinew here to go ahead and tie this down. So all I do is I'm just going to wrap. All right, nothing real fancy. The wrapping will start to lock onto itself. I'm not using sinew for this part here, but this is where you would still, you would use sinew to do the same thing. All right, so I want to line this up and then just begin to wrap nice and tight so it holds into place. Okay, making sure that my cock feather is perpendicular to the knock, and then I can lay down my other feather. Okay, you see that? So I'm just doing a try fletching, like so. Alright, a couple of wraps there, and then I lay down my last feather, like so. This wants to twist on me. Let me give a couple more rotations with this here. We can wrestle with that one. Alright, just lay this down here. And this fletching is pretty much ready to go. Okay, you really don't have to do much more. All you're doing is creating drag on the arrow shaft, and it's ready to fly. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish this off. So how we do that is I still have a little bit of length of my cordage here, and I'm going to go ahead and spin this around. Again, I want to make minor adjustments to the positioning of my fletching. Make sure it's how I want it, so it lays nice. Okay, and then you're going to just start to wrap, and then as you start to wrap, you're going to start to break into the veins of the feather, like so. You just kind of pop it in like that. Okay, just pop it in like so. This actually ties down the feather to the shaft. Okay, just wrapping it around like so till you get to the end. And at that point I just kind of wrap it a few times, and then I go ahead and wrap it onto my whipping to anchor it. Okay, not very pretty just yet. Okay, so before I tie any knots off, in case I need to make any additional adjustments, I'm just going to anchor this down, and this is where I make adjustments. And I just slide my veins over to their proper positions. Okay, and then you'll start to kind of pick your feathers out a bit, pick the veins out a bit to get it looking nice. Check the alignment. Yeah, this one goes this way. So I gotta go. There we go. A little better. And then, yeah, you just take your time and just lay it out. Lay your feathers out. There we go. So go ahead and wrap this around a few times to anchor before I tie it off, and finish making adjustments. So this is pretty much the basics of this method of fletching. Okay. Alright, just like so. Alright, at this juncture, this is where I would go ahead and tie this off with just a couple of half knots, like so, just to anchor them down. And then I tend to use some pine pitch or some hide glue to go ahead and seal this up so that it doesn't come undone on me. If you're trying to go if you're not trying to go completely primitive, then maybe some super glue or something like that, something more commercial you can use. Elmer's glue might work. It's a little natural, whereas the solvent glues will probably leave a scent on there if you plan on hunting with these. So less scent the better. And go ahead and tie that on. Cinch that up. Okay, so there we've got it. Just basic fletching.